Right there, a little spring practice for you. Track and field as well.
And my favorite spring sport, lacrosse, is in action.
My favorite spring sport, cycling also.
And there's a little slow-mo jump roping for you. Coming up!
CU Sports Mag. Welcome to this week's edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm Matt Hanlon. This is my colleague David Starcer. We got a great show for you today. We've got football, basketball, everything you need to know about CU sports. What are you thinking, Dave?
I'm thinking, let's get to it. One of the most well-known and influential commentators of all time retired on Thursday. Pro Football Hall of Fame coach, video game mogul, and 16-time Emmy Award winner John Madden stepped down from his broadcast duties at the age of 73. Madden will always be remembered for his analysis of football and his exuberant on-air personality. He will never be forgotten for his love of the game and, of course, his signature catchphrase, boom! Video game's pretty good, too.
Loving it. This fall, Shannon Sharpe hit the hardwood for CU. No Buff fans, not that Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, the 6-foot, 190-pound point guard from Corona, California, signed a national letter of intent Wednesday for Coach Bizdelic and the Buffs. A Division II All-California Interscholastic Federation All-Star who averaged 17.9 points per game helped Centennial High School to a 27-5 record his senior season. Sharpe is the fourth incoming freshman joining an already young 2009-2010 Buffaloes roster.
Liking how they're looking, Matt. Liking how they're looking.
Young.
Well, Gatorade's Player of the Year may not sweat fluorescent colors, but next year he's going to bleed black and gold. Alec Burks from Grandview, Missouri believes he is more than ready to leave his mark on the basketball court in the Big 12. Burks came to visit CU during a men's basketball almost win against Kansas and believes if he had been on the court that we would have won. His confidence and enthusiasm could be exactly what CU needs to shoot to the top of the Big 12 rankings next year. I like his attitude.
So do I. Kayla Bailey has signed a national letter of intent to play basketball at the University of Colorado in 2009-2010. CU head coach Kathy McConnell-Miller announced Thursday that the 6-foot power forward from Omaha, Nebraska would be joining the Buffs. Bailey was listed as the 9th best available unsigned player for 2009 according to the Collegiate Girls Basketball Report. Bailey is a versatile athlete who also excelled on the track as she was a state qualifier in the high jump, 200 meters, and the 400-meter relay. According to Coach Miller, Kayla is the perfect fit for Colorado basketball because of her athleticism, finesse, and rebounding mentality that fills an immediate need for the program. Finally, a chance for the Colorado men's basketball team to gain recognition around the college basketball nation. Next season, the Buffaloes will be taking place in arguably the best preseason college basketball tournament known as the Maui Invitational presented by EA Sports. It's in the game. The 8-team tourney will test the young Buffs as they take on some of the nation's most elite and prestigious programs. That includes the likes of the University of Arizona, Cincinnati, Gonzaga, the Maryland Terps, Vanderbilt, and the University of Wisconsin. The Invitational will take place November 23rd through the 25th on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week.
Tough competition there. Tough competition. Colorado's men's basketball head coach Jeff Bizdelic announced on Tuesday that freshman guard Ryan Kelly has decided to leave the team and will not return for the 2009-2010 season. Kelly played in 17 games this past year and averaged 2.6 points and 0.5 rebounds per game. Kelly was the lone bright spot in the team's 45-point loss to Missouri on January 14th as he led the team in scoring with 19 points. Kelly was the youngest scholarship men's basketball student-athlete in the Big 12 Conference this season. Sad to see him go. With the football team's spring game just a week away, practices have kicked into high gear. We caught up with fullback Jake Behrens to get his take on practices so far and the fall season.
Great, we've had a lot of tempo in there. We're getting more experience. The last couple of years I was here, that I've been a little young in some spots, but now I feel like the tempo and everything's been real well. And tight end fullback groups, been playing real well too. It's a lot of the basic, the routes and all the knowledge of the system, starting to understand, so we can get more focused on the details, and it's going to help us out a lot. Because I get the chance to be a little more versatile sometimes in here, and I can maybe play a little more tight end or split out every now and then. Traditional fullback, just line up in the eye and ISO block Mike Backer every time, and catch and fly. Like it's a little bit of that, but so I get a lot of the traditional stuff that you would see, but then I get to be split out and do some other stuff that maybe won't be so traditional with fullback too. Tight ends and center, we're getting better every day, and as long as we stay healthy, I mean, we got so many guys, so many talented guys, and everyone's learning quick. And Pat Spinney had a great scrimmage the other day, and he's made some big strides on his blocking, and the younger guys, Flawless and Dehan, have been playing really well too, just because just more repetitions. They've been young, and I mean even I have been getting better just because we don't have as many fullbacks on our roster right now, so I'm getting a lot of reps, and it's helped me out a lot too.
CU's head football coach Dan Hawkins announced late last Friday that sophomore quarterback Matt Ballinger has decided to leave the University of Colorado football program. Hawkins met with Ballinger and his father and agreed that he would be released to pursue options in football, basketball, or both in another institution. Ballinger rose to number 2 on the depth chart and saw action in 2 games against Texas at home and Kansas. In the 2 games, he completed 8 of 12 passes for 118 yards and a touchdown while rushing for 16 yards. Ballinger's departure leaves CU with just 2 quarterbacks on the roster, with junior Cody Hawkins and sophomore Tyler Hansen.
And they are dropping like flies. Well, watch out, Ralphie. A Wolverine is coming. Former Michigan wide receiver Tony Clemens is coming to visit Colorado this week in hopes of becoming a Buff. Now, Clemens decided to leave Michigan because he didn't feel like his talent was being utilized by the coaching staff. While Clemens turned down an offer at CU out of high school, he now feels like he has a better shot at earning a spot on the team and intends to sign with CU as long as they offer him a scholarship. Now, Clemens was told by a former coach that if he ever visited CU, he would come here. We will soon find out if that is true. Well, man, I don't know about you, but I'll trade Matt Ballinger for Tony Clemens any day.
Any day. I'm excited for that. Michigan Wolverine coming here from the big house, coming down Folsom. So we're going to go to a break, but after we got double team and some lacrosse. So come back with us. Back, and we're going to be talking a little bit about something else.
Yep. Time to send it over to Kevin Rash and Russell Cunningham, our 2 favorite college football analysts for this week's Double Team.
Hello and welcome to Double Team. My name is Kevin Rash, alongside here Russell Cunningham. Up next we got the football team, of course, and the depth chart, projected starters on both the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball coming up for next week's spring game on Saturday. So let's get things started right now with the offensive line, shall we?
Let's do that. So, the offensive line, they're the big boys, they're the big guys. You have Ryan Miller. He is a big guy. He is 6'8", 310 pounds. He wasn't even big enough to play tackle, so he had to go and play guard. You also have Mike Iltis, and he is the center. He is the captain of the offensive line, and what he needs to do is he needs to play well, he needs to be smart, he needs to visualize the defense, and he needs to see who is blitzing, and that way the offensive line can protect Cody Hawkins.
That's right. Cody Hawkins, I believe, will be the starter come that first game against CSU, but he will split time with Tyler Hansen. I believe that Tyler will get the option snaps. He's more mobile, a little bit more faster, so he can work with running backs better. Hawkins, though, he's got the arm. He knows the offense best, so he'll be running that. But also, running backs, deepest part of our
Certainly,
team.
and the running backs need to perform well this year. You got Rodney Stewart, as you can see, he is 5'7", 170 pounds, runs about a 4.0 40. I don't know if that's the official stats, but I think it's pretty quick. That's how he got his nickname, Speedy Stewart. He rushed for over 600 yards. He looked good, and I think he needs to have a big year this year. Also, you have Darrell Scott. He's lost some LBs. He's looking stronger. He's looking like he's ready to play some Division I football. Demetrius Sumler, he is 5'10", 225 pounds. He's ready to run you over. He had 4 touchdowns last year. He was the red zone force, and he really needs to play well in order for the Buffaloes to score in the red zone. Not only in the red zone, but they also need to score all over the field.
And one of the biggest question marks coming in this year for the team is the wide receivers and the tight ends. We got Josh Smith as your number 1 receiver, and then you got Marquise Simus. I believe Marquise Simus will be a very underrated player. He's 6'2", he's got the ups, he's got the hands. He can be a stud. And you got Scotty McKnight, the do-it-all guy from my high school hometown. He's had over 50 catches and 500 yards receiving the past 2 years, which has led the team. So so you got to watch out for him, of course. And then the tight ends, you got Devaney, you got Dean, and also you got Ryder Gear, and he should be do a really good job. But right now we got the defensive line coming up right here, and the defensive side of the ball. We have Herod right there. He'll be on the right end line, right side of the defensive as we switch around here. Marquise Herod had 4 sacks last year, which is very important to note. We got to get ball pressure. And then you got Obi on the left side. He played minimal snaps last year. He'll get a lot more time. And then Kaner in the defensive tackle, 6'7", 295. He's a big guy. We need pressure for the linebackers to be able to drop back into coverage.
And those linebackers need to be the best part of the defense. You got Jeff Smart. He has over 115 tackles last year. He's going to be the captain of the defense. He's going to dominate. He's going to make tackles. You also have Sean Muller. He had over 110 tackles last season. He's going to be an outside force. He's going to prevent scrambling rushers to get passers to get outside, and he's going to need to make plays. Now, you see John Major down here. He has a question mark next to him. He was the highly touted freshman out of Colorado last year, or out of a high school in Colorado, and his ACL tore during fall camp. And he was actually playing better than Muller and was ahead of him on the depth chart. So the question is, can John Major come in and make a performance and actually make plays for the Buffs defense?
And like I said, linebacker position, probably the deepest spot on the team, and they'll have to play big in order for the 3-4 defense to thrive. But let's get to the defensive backs real fast, and we'll start with the cornerbacks on your side. Yeah, of course. Jalil Brown and Chappelle Brown, they'll be our 2 starters on the cornerback slot. Chappelle Brown's a stud, 82 tackles last season. He had a few picks, big-time picks in close games at the end of the year. And then Jalil Brown had that 57-yarder take back almost to the house against Texas, as you guys all can recall that. And also, you got to look at Jimmy Smith. He'll be in the 3 spot at cornerback. And so we're a little weak at cornerback, but Ashley Ambrose used to be a former NFL player with the Falcons, 13 seasons in the NFL. He'll be able to teach those guys a few tricks.
And so in safeties, you got Patrick Mankey. He's a beast. He likes to hit. He likes to hit hard. He's going to be roaming around back there in that defensive backfield, and they need to look out. He knocked somebody's helmet off in the Nebraska game when he came in for an injury save. So, he is going to be a sophomore. He's going to be young, and hopefully he'll play well. Also, Anthony Perkins, he is looking to play strong, and hopefully the Buffs are able to have a strong defense and are able to really play well. So that's the Buffs offense and defense, and we're going to send it back to the desk. Thank you.
The CU men's lacrosse team is preparing to host rival Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown at Folsom Field. CU Sports Mag Andrew Tomasini caught up with the Buffs earlier this week.
When one thinks of the University of Colorado, they have to mention Colorado football and beautiful Folsom Field, a stadium which has hosted many epic matchups over the ages. But next Saturday, the men's club lacrosse team will host its first matchup at Folsom Field, and better yet, put a spin on the Rocky Mountain Showdown rivalry versus the Rams, a matchup CU has been eyeing all season, and Coach John Gausen feels the same way.
Well, it's always a really fun game, and I think both teams are really excited. And it's always one of those games where you can get really up for it, and it's one that you always mark in your calendar. Just being 2 in-state schools that have a lot of tradition with their programs, and so we're just trying to keep it alive. And it's a privilege, and I'm really excited that the athletic department has let us do this, and I think it just goes a long way to see how our program keeps getting better and better.
Colorado looks to avenge their loss last year to the Rams as they look to use home field advantage, Folsom Field, to their advantage. My name is Andrew Tomasini, CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Andrew. The much-anticipated Rocky Mountain Showdown of Lacrosse, which was set to take place this Saturday at 4 p.m., has been canceled due to the inclement weather. The match, which showcases 2 top 10 club teams in the country, will take place following the spring football game at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday the 25th at Folsom Field. The match should prove to be an intense one at best, as both teams fight for the final few men's collegiate club lacrosse playoff spots.
The CU women's tennis team will be playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers on Sunday, April 19th here in Boulder. The 53rd ranked Buffaloes lead the series between the 2 teams and plan to add another win this weekend. So go out and support the Buffs this weekend with our traditional Nebraska joke. What is the only sign of intelligent life in Lincoln, Nebraska? And the answer is Boulder, 187 miles.
Great one.
I love it.
Love that. Well, when we come back, we're going to have, let's see here. Oh, that's right. Everybody's favorite, a dynamite trivia question for you guys.
As well as golf, and I'm out there on the streets talking to students. So come back with us and golfer Sebastian Heisel swung his way to third place in the UCCS Spring Invitational last Tuesday. The redshirt freshman was able to compete in the tournament as a player in the field and finished with the best performance to date as a collegiate. Heisel commanded the elevation changes and poor weather to shoot a 147 for the two-day tournament. The golf team is looking ahead to the Big 12 Conference Championship, which will be held in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Teams from across Colorado came to compete in the Colorado Invitational last weekend at Potts Field. The track and field competition began in the morning with the field events, in which javelin thrower Brandon Williams scored a regional mark of 202 feet. Later on the track, Emily Hanberg recorded a regional qualifying time in her 3,000-meter steeplechase debut. Overall, the Buffs performed at the top of their game in every event from high jump to hammer throw. The team's next meet will be at the Mount Sac Relays in Walnut, California.
Many CU athletes excel in more than one sport, but one track and field athlete has a unique jump in this children's sport. CU Sports Mag Matt Sewick has more.
Last week, Cassie Hirschfeld was nominated as the Athletic Department's Athlete of the Week for her outstanding track performance. Today, I am catching up with Cassie to get a little bit more up close and personal.
Cassie was chosen as Athlete of the Week for her 100-meter dash performance at the Texas Relays that put her in the record books. She is now the 7th fastest female at CU, running the 100-meter dash with a time of 11.96.
Well, it was the 100, and I've been trying to break 12 seconds all season, so I was really excited. I finally broke 12, and then I kept getting phone calls that I made it into the record, but so it was a little bit of icing on the cake, I guess. Indoor, I had a couple good performances in my 60. I dropped off a lot of time from last year, so that was good, and same with the 200.
Off the track, I found out that Cassie is a national champion of jump rope.
I started in kindergarten. We started with American Heart Association, like Jump Rope for Heart. And then we became competitive when I was in 5th grade, and we went to nationals. They have nationals on ESPN. It's held in Disney World every year.
Oh, wow.
So I was on ESPN when I was in 8th grade, I think, for triple unders. So it's where the rope goes under you 3 times in one jump.
Luckily, I always have a jump rope on hand. Rewind, I need a replay of that one.
There's speed, there's tricks, there's group routines, double dutch, single routines, all the above.
Wow, she really is talented. I have to see another trick.
I really love the move. What was the one where you switch it through your legs and like around your side?
It's called a TJ. I don't know someone's initials, but they came with. It's a triple under too, so it's a side swing and then what's called a toad, and then you come out of it.
To add to the mix, she also has an interest in broadcasting. So I let her carry out the interview while I did some jump rope.
All right, well, this is Matt, and he is a fantastic jump rope champ. He's doing some good single bounces right now. And like me, he did track in high school, except for he did some of the distance stuff. So tell me about your races.
I did mostly like the mile and the half mile. This is really hard.
I know, to talk and jump, but you're doing great.
I'm going to try a double.
Double under. It'll go under your legs twice. One jump. Oh, you did it!
Great.
Good job.
So as you can see, Cassie was great on the track and in her jump rope skills. But me, on the other hand, I need some work. I'm Matthew Sewick, CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Matt. All right, now it's time for this week's trivia question. CU Sports Mag is going way, way back. What were Colorado's 2 previous nicknames prior to being officially nicknamed the Buffaloes? Make sure you stick around and find out the answer to this humdinger of a question I am dying.
I am dying to know about that, too. With playoffs in the air and the rain has fallen from the sky, I hit the streets to see what rainy weather activities students like to do and if they have any predictions about the NHL and NBA playoffs.
And in the UNC, we were curious to see what students do to keep busy on rainy days.
Yoga. Like heated yoga.
I actually really like playing golf in the rain.
I mean, mud wrestling, does that count?
What I would do in rainy weather would be to go to the rec center and run.
I mean, like out in the weather.
With the poor weather today, I thought I'd come down to the Connection and see what the kids are all raving about. Check this out.
I'd I'd say bowling's a great option. I really like, coming here. It's a bit therapeutic. You hear the pins and the balls. They're all crashing and everything. It's a great time.
We're just here after class Tuesday, Thursdays usually for a beer and bowling. But generally what I do is I play inline hockey.
We also got their predictions on the NHL and NBA playoffs.
With hockey, I think it's probably going to be Detroit or the Sharks.
In the NBA, I do think the Celtics are going to get to the finals, have to play the Lakers again, and what happens when the Celtics play the Lakers. But NHL, I'm going to have to go with the Bruins, of course.
When there's bad weather outside, students can be found balling at the rec or bowling at the Connection. We've also got NBA and NHL playoff predictions. I have my own. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Matt Hanlon.
That was a blast to do. A lot of fun out there with students just bowling and getting.
Nice strike, by the way. You had great form. I'm a little jealous.
Like that?
I like that. Well, when we come back, we got cycling and the weather for y'all. Stick around. With this week's trivia answer, now just a reminder to everyone out there what the trivia question was. What were CU's two previous nicknames prior to officially being nicknamed the Buffs? And the answer, a daily double. I'm just kidding. The answer is actually the Silver Helmets and the Frontiersmen. I think I like the Buffs better than both of those, actually, myself. So,
I did not know that. A sport normally left to racers is now open to the public. CU Sports Mag's Katie O'Block reports why so many Boulder cyclists are choosing to ride inside.
High speeds are attracting many Boulder cyclists to this wooden thrill ride.
Once they give it a try, they absolutely are hooked.
The U.S. is home to just under 30 tracks, most of which are outdoors. But now, Boulder Indoor Cycling has opened its doors. The Velodrome is one of two in the entire country that is indoors. The Boulder track is also one of the smallest, allowing riders to reach higher speeds around tighter corners.
An experience that they won't be able to get anywhere else. We're hoping that the recreational cyclists who never would have considered track cycling as an outlet of exercise or fun, for that matter, now has an opportunity to try track cycling, which in the past has been reserved strictly for racing.
And recreational use is just what they're going for. The track offers instruction every day of the week to beginner and intermediate riders because although it is still a part of cycling, riding and racing on the track are completely different from the road or in the mountains. The main difference between road cycling and track cycling is the use of the gears and the brakes on the bike. On a road bike, you have multiple gears that you can go through. Also, when you stop moving the pedals, the wheel spins. Now on a track bike, there's only one gear and no brakes. So the only way to slow down is to slow down your legs.
That almost makes it safer that no one has brakes. That way the person in front of you isn't going to be slowing down incredibly quickly as well.
But no matter how different, riding on the track is nothing to be intimidated of.
Once most people let go of the visual intimidation of the track, they realize it's really just a big flat road. I mean, it seems steep and it's unusual to most riders, but once you're out there, it's just like riding anything. It's actually more fun.
Katie O'Block, CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Katie. That cycling kind of looks terrifying to me, to be honest.
I'm looking forward to it. But now we're going to take a look at this weekend's forecast, so take it away.
Thanks, guys. And as all of you know, we've been experiencing this nasty weather lately for these past couple of days, and there's more on the way. So let's take a look at our national forecast. As you can see, we have a cold front moving in from the northwest, and so that's going to bring snow to the high country, and then we're going to have a rain-snow mix on the front range and just cooler temperatures as well throughout the whole weekend. More specifically, the temperatures, as you can see, we're in the blues for most of the state. That means that we'll be anywhere from the 20 to 30s range, and parts of the eastern plains will reach 40s to 50s. But looking more specifically even at our Boulder weather, we have a high for 32 on Friday and chance for snow. High of 40 on Saturday, also chance for snow. And then it's going to warm up a little bit on Sunday and Monday. We'll have partly cloudy skies with highs in the high 50s and low 60s. I want to go ahead and take a look at our live shot right now on Boulder campus. As you can see, it's a pretty chilly day out there. So if you're outside, make sure you bundle up. And so for those of you that are interested in skiing this weekend, there are a few resorts still open. One of them is A-Basin. They have a recent snowfall of 1 inch, a base snow of 55, and they also are expected to get snow this weekend with a high of 38 and a low of 16. Another resort we have is Vail, and they have a recent snowfall of 0 inches, but they still have a base of 66 with a chance for snow this weekend, high of 38, low of 18. And then our final resort is Winter Park, and they have a recent snowfall of 0 inches as well with a base of 74, chance for snow, high of 35, and a low of 16. That's all the time we have this week for weather, so with that, I'm just going to send it on back to the desk.
Thanks, Jenna, for that weekend's forecast. What are you going to do with all this bad weather going on?
Well, that's true. I was thinking about going outside, but now I might have to think about doing something like go to the rec center, hoop it up, maybe go to the Connection and do a little bowling.
Yeah, that wraps up this week's CU Sports Bag, but come back next week and we'll have some more sports for you. Thank you.
Thank you.